Good morning, dear students. Welcome to our English class. As you know, we have already completed Unit 1 and I also explained you Unit 2. Today, in this video, I will be giving you a precise and a brief explanation of Unit 2, which contains a lesson How Did the Dog Found Himself a Master and a poem, that is The Kite. Both I will be discussing today. Okay. Now, the lesson's name is How the Dog Found Himself a Master. It is the story of a dog who wants a master who is strongest of all. Then, where did he go and whom did he find? And finally, whom did he choose as his master is all about the story. So, let us begin the story with a short video. As we have already read it from textbook, you'll be able to understand it. Okay?
Dogs were once their own masters and lived the way wolves do, in freedom. Until a dog was born who was ill-pleased with this way of life. He was sick and tired of wandering about by himself, looking for food and being frightened of those who were stronger than he. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth. And he set out to find such a master. He walked and he walked, and he met a kinsman of his, a big wolf, who was as strong as he was fierce. "Where are you going, dog?" the wolf asked. "I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master, wolf?" "I don't see why not," the wolf said. And this agreed upon, the two of them went on together. They walked, and all of a sudden, the wolf lifted his nose, sniffed, darted quickly off the path and into the bushes, and crept deeper into the forest. The dog was much surprised. "What's come over you, master?" he asked. "What has frightened you so?" "Can't you see? There's a bear out there, and he might eat up both of us, you and me." Seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him. And he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. The bear agreed to this readily and said, "Let us go and find a herd of cows. I'll kill a cow and then we can both eat our fill." They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, the bear looked out from behind a tree, and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. "Now why did I have to come here?" said he to the dog. "It is the lion who rules the forest in these parts." "The lion? Who's he?" "Don't you know? He's the strongest beast on earth." "Well then, I'll say goodbye to you, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth." And off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. The lion agreed to it, and the dog stayed with him and served him for a long, long time. It was a good life, and he had nothing to complain of, for there was no stronger beast in the forest than the lion, and no one dared touch the dog or offend him in any way. But one day, the two of them were walking side by side along a path that ran amid bare cliffs, when all of a sudden the lion stopped. He gave a great roar and struck the ground angrily with his paw, with such force that a hole formed there. Then he began to back away very quietly. "What is it, master? Is anything wrong?" asked the dog, surprised. "I smell a man coming this way," the lion said. "We'd better run for it, or we'll be in trouble." "Oh well, then I'll say goodbye to you, lion. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth." And off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him faithfully. This happened long, long ago. But to this day, the dog is man's most loyal servant and knows no other master.
So, students, you understood the story of how the dog found himself a master? Firstly, he chose a wolf as his master. Wolf was afraid of the bear. Then he chose bear as his master. Bear was afraid of the lion. Then he chose lion as the master. Lion was afraid of the man, human beings. So finally, dog chose human beings as his master. And then what happened? He served the humans very faithfully since a very long time till today. So that's the story about how the dog found himself a new master. Now we will move ahead to the next part of our unit 2, that is the poem part. The name of the poem is The Kite and it is written by Harry Ben. So let us start with a short video of the poem The Kite. The first lines in the poem says, how bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. What does it mean? It means that the kite looks very beautiful when it is flying in the blue sky. Now let's look at the poem.
On the blue is a kite when it's new. With a dive and a dip, it snaps its tail. Then soars like a ship with only a sail. As over tides of wind, and it rides, climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls. Then seems to rest as wind falls. When string goes slack, you wind it back and run until a new breeze blows and its wings fill and up it goes. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new, but ragged thing you never will see when it flaps on a string in the top of a tree.
So students, that's the poem written by Harry Ben, The Kite, and it gives us a brief explanation of the kite when it's new and kite when it is hanging in the tree, right? So the kite looks beautiful when it's new, flies in the sky like a ship which is sailing in the ocean alone with one sail. Then it roars and make a sound when it's flying in the sky, right? Come, now let us have a look on the short summary of the poem so you can understand better. The kite looks bright when it is in the blue sky. It dives, dips, snaps and soars like a ship. Riding on the wind, the kite reaches to the crest. Immediately with a sudden gust, it takes a rest. With the fall of the wind, it goes loose. So, what do you understand by this? That the kite looks very bright when it is in the blue sky. It dives and dips and snaps and soars. So, it makes various kinds of movements when it's flying in the sky, right? And immediately when the wind falls, when the wind becomes low, then when the speed of the air becomes slow, at the time the kite takes a rest and comes down and its string becomes loose, and with the help of a new breeze it again goes up. Then the most sad part of a kite is that it becomes raggeder means torn, fatawa, right? After flying it high in the sky, it reaches the crest, and then when it stucks up in a tree and it gets torn, it is very sad to look at it, and we don't enjoy a kite which is stuck in the tree top, right? So that's the raggeder thing. Raggeder means torn, fata hua, barabar? Okay, so that's the summary of the poem, students. You need to understand the poet has compared the kite with a ship as well as the poet is defining various movements of the kite which it makes in the high blue sky. Okay, and at the end the poet also explains us the condition of the kite when it becomes torn, and nobody likes to fly that torn kite, and it stays in the tree top forever. That's all for today, students. That's about unit 2. We have completed it. We have also completed the written part in the workbook as well as in the notebook. Okay, now it's your turn to learn whatever you have written. That's all for today. Do complete your work if you have not done yet. We'll see you very soon.